Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Shiokami, and today you're gonna have the pleasure of living with me in my person, and not my fursuit. If I look like a hot mess, there's a reason. It's because I just got off work. And I am just naturally like this. There's a reason why I wear the mask. If you are watching this video, you are probably one of my subscribers, or you have just found out that your child is or would like to be a furry. And as their parent, you probably want to know if being a furry is a good option for them. This is where I come in, because you probably have a lot of questions. I'm gonna try and answer those questions as best to my ability as possible, because your questions need answers. Hopefully by the end of this video, you will better understand furries and understand what your child may need from you as their parent as they embark, furry joke, on this journey. I have a list of some very commonly asked questions from parents, and we're gonna go over that and I'm going to answer them. Question number 1, what is a furry? This is a very common question. It's normally the first question that comes out of a parent's mouth when their child is like, I'm a furry. If I had to give you an elevator story and sum it up very quickly, a furry is somebody who likes to express themselves through anthropomorphic animals or characters. There's a big ol' fancy word for you. What is anthropomorphic? Anthropomorphic, to sum it up short and sweet, is basically an animal with human-like characteristics. And that can be described anywhere between, Disney characters or mascot costumes or fursuits. We'll get into fursuits later, don't worry. Furries are a community of people that like to express themselves through these anthropomorphic characters called fursonas. A fursona is basically themselves portrayed into this character. That is what this is to me. This is my fursona. She is basically me, but as a dog. A very fun, brightly colored dog. Furries express themselves through all different types of media. This can be fursuiting, art, dancing, music, creative writing, poetry, and etc. Question number 2, why does my child want to be a furry? See, now, I can't answer that question for your child because everybody wants to be a furry for a different reason. If I had to make a very accurate guess, it's probably because they think furries are fun and cool and it's something for them to try. And I don't know, they probably just like the brightly colored fursuits a lot. No, but if I had to speak realistically, it's because the furry community is a very openly accepting community. It is a place where people find happiness, if I can put it like that. It is a place where people can make friends and communicate with others who may have similar or common interests as your child. Question number 3. My child wants a fursuit, what should I do? The fursuit question. Yes, this is a fursuit, and fursuits come in many different shapes and sizes and colors and varieties and, anything you can think of under the sun, someone can probably make a fursuit out of it. Your child probably wants a fursuit because the biggest spectacle in the furry community are fursuits. I mean, they're very eye-catching. A fursuit is one of the biggest ways someone can express themselves through their fursona in real life. Because you always have art, but art is never a physical thing. It's not tangible. Compared to a fursuit, that is tangible. You can touch it, you can pet it, don't pet them. Contrary to popular belief, the majority of the furry fandom does not own fursuits because fursuits are expensive and we have bills to pay with that kind of money. So, the cheapest way you can get a fursuit is if you buy it pre-made or you make it yourself. So, what does this mean for your child? This can mean a few different things. As an adult, I'm personally going to recommend your child waits until they're about 16 or 17 to get a fursuit, just because when you are so young, you haven't stopped growing, and if you get them a fursuit at like 13, they're gonna grow out of it, and then they can't wear it anymore, and it's just gonna be a waste of money. Where can you get fursuits? Fursuits, again, can be pre-made by other members of the furry community. They can be custom made, or you can make them yourself. This is my fursuit. I made her the majority myself. I bought a foam blank from a company called Dream Vision Creations, and it's just a foam skeleton. It's nothing but the head, and then I slap everything together and call it a day. And I have a bodysuit, which is the whole thing, and I got that from a creator called Creations of the Cosmos. And then you have the hands and the feet and the tail, and that all completes a full fursuit. A full fursuit can range in price. Mine personally, I was skimming by very close to the cheaper end of fursuits. If I had to make a guesstimate about how much I spent in total, I would probably say close to $600, give or take, roughly. And that is very cheap for a full fursuit. There are full suits that can go upwards of $10,000, or then some. So it is very important that you are choosing your child's fursuit and their expenses wisely. However, if your child is really like super bad wants a fursuit, there are alternatives that are very cheap, if minuscule at best. You can always check Dealer's Den. Dealer's Den is a great place for furries to shop pre-made items. Some of them go very cheap and some of them go pretty expensive. Etsy is also a good place to find some cheap custom-made items or even pre-made items. Or even if you were to buy like a blank white Halloween wolf mask and give them some Sharpies to color on it, they would love that. They would love that. Love it. Another cheap alternative are dino masks. That is a very popular trend in the community as of recently. Dino masks are relatively cheap. You can buy them at Walmart, Target, Amazon, and just give them some paints and a couple of fabrics and, you know, a few materials, and they will create their dream vision on this dino mask until they are full. Period. Question number 4, what kind of social media can my child use in this community? That is an excellent question. I like that question a lot. There are different types of social media apps and websites that furries use to communicate and hang out and make friends and share their art and take pictures and all that other stuff. So the most popular places for furries to gather are Instagram. That's a good one, that's a popular one. Twitter, Amino's a good one. Fur Affinity, and then whatever other local furry groups to your state or city have. There are 2 social medias I'm going to recommend your child stay away from until they're about 16, give or take. One of them is going to be Fur Affinity. Fur Affinity is a place where furries share pictures of their fursuits, art, music, creative writing, all that other fun stuff. It is creatively furry exclusive stuff. Now that sounds all well and good, but it is primarily an adult-themed website. Now, that doesn't mean there is always going to be adult content on that website, but it is there, so just keep an eye out for that. And the same goes for Twitter as well. Twitter is a social media app a lot of people use these days. Again, very adult-themed content on Twitter. So if your child is mature enough, or you think they're mature enough to handle that kind of content, then you do you. I'm not here to parent your kid, but it's just a recommendation that I would suggest that they wait a while before using those social medias. But other than that, Instagram is great, Facebook is great, DeviantArt is great, Amino Communities is great, and then again, websites or domains that are exclusive for your local furries. And what that means is, for your state, it might be a Facebook group, or they might have their own domain. It really just, you gotta search it for a little bit to find, you know, what you're looking for. So let's say, for example, you live in Nevada. You just search Nevada furry groups, and I'm sure you'll find a list of some groups of furries in Nevada. Question number 5. What can I expect my child to be doing in this community? Also an excellent question. I would love to explain that for you. Your child is gonna want to do anything and everything under the sun that has to do with this community and furries. And that's just a fact. I remember when I was a young furry and I was first starting to enter this community, I was probably 13 years old at the time, and I'm 22 now, so that gives you quite a range of experience. I wanted to do everything. Oh my gosh, anything that had anything to do with furries, I wanted to do it. It was just very exciting for me. Now that I'm an adult, not so much. Your child is gonna want to go to meet and greets, they're gonna wanna go to conventions, they're gonna wanna meet other furries, they're gonna wanna talk to other furries, they're gonna go, woo, like a big old tree and just sprout their branches everywhere. This leads into meet and greets and conventions. A convention is a place for people of similar interests to gather in large numbers and have a grand old time. The average length for a convention is 3 or 4 days, so it's definitely a weekend thing. You pack your bags and you go to the hotel that this convention is being held at, and you just have a blast. At conventions, there are normally going to be games and activities and movies and, you know, all sorts of things that you and your child can do together, because the majority of conventions are PG-13 or family-friendly conventions. If a convention is adult-themed or 18+ exclusively, they will tell you. They will make it very clear that this is an 18+ con and there are no children allowed, period. But it's very rare for one of those to happen, so. Conventions are expensive. They are very expensive. So your child better want to go to the moon and back for this convention, because it will be a pretty penny. If you and your child are going, you have to buy yourself, your child, and whoever else is going a ticket to get into the con. And ticket prices can range depending on what convention you're going to. The average is about $50-60 per person. Not to mention food. Food at conventions is also expensive, so prepare for that. This is where meet and greets will come in. Meet and greets are an excellent solution if you don't want to pay all that extra cash to go to a con. A meet and greet is a very small version of a convention, and furries will gather, big and small, in their fursuits, in costume, not in fursuit, and they'll just hang out, play board games, nibble on some chips, watch a movie, hang out, make new friends, etc., etc. This is a great place, a absolutely fantastic place for you and your child to be attending, because it's small, it's local, you don't gotta pay a lot of money, and your child will probably be absolutely extravagant, like over the moon, so happy to go and meet other furries. And you can be there the whole time, you can attend, you know, there's no rules for who can and cannot come, so by all means, attend your child. They'd love that. Question number 6, last question. Is this community safe for my child? Okay, stop the music. Stop the happy music. This is a serious question. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat things for you. As much as I would like to say, furries are happy and fun and friendly and nothing can ever go wrong here, that's not true. Because what kind of world would that be? That's not the world we live in, I'm sorry. While it is true that the majority of the community is very friendly and positive and accepting, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that there aren't dangerous people out there, because there is. Dangerous people exist everywhere, unfortunately, because that's just life. And this does include the furry fandom. There will be people who will want to try and get to or harm or find attraction in your child, and unfortunately that's just the reality. Now, if that's the only thing you're going to take away from this video, then I'm going to leave you with this. As long as you, as their parent, are taking priority and making sure that your child knows how to be safe, not just in real life situations, but in online situations, then your child will be okay. If you are teaching them the proper ways to keep themselves safe in an online presence, then everything's gonna be fine. If you can trust your child to handle that much, then you have nothing to worry about. Literally nothing. Well, that is all I had to say for this video. I appreciated all of the questions. I loved answering them. They were definitely important, and I hope if you are a parent watching this, it has helped you understand the community a little better and maybe understand your child a little better. If you have any questions I maybe didn't cover in this video, then feel free to leave a comment. I will try and get to them all, I promise. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!